Hello, everybody. After a medium-sized break, we are back, tapped in with Tanjint, featuring The Thought. I am Tanjint Wiggy Woo, and
I'm The Thought. How's it going, y'all?
A Jack. What was it? So we're gonna start with some personal, but our personal lives have to do with art. So we're gonna start with some personal updates and talk about some response to the show, and then talk about another topic, and then we're gonna go into our regular scheduled programming. The Thought, Jack, you just shared some cool news with me. Let's hear that again.
Oh yeah, so I have been blessed with a good buddy of mine just moved out to Tulsa to live with me.
Yo.
That is Marcus Lee, right?
Yeah, that's Marcus Lee. We have an album together called Daily Thoughts that I'm very proud of and very happy to have worked with this incredible artist with. And shout out to Day One on production. And then recently he just dropped an EP called Lately, which I produced all of. So,
Oh, with you and Marcus?
Yeah, I produced an
send me
EP that's in it's him all over it, and then it's just all my beats. I'm very proud of that as well.
Oh, send me that. Send me that. The Daily Thoughts album helped me through a hard time last summer. The song "Man in the Cage" in particular is a really beautiful and haunting and catchy and great hip hop song.
Appreciate that, man.
The whole project's great, but that was easily my fave. So it was an honor to internet meet you, Marcus. Look forward to actually meeting you at some point. That's awesome that you guys are there. I'm sure you guys are going to cook up even more dope shit together, and I look forward to hearing the Lately as well.
Oh yeah. We already cooking out here. It's been nice.
Hell yeah. What was it? I have a couple updates. I'll try to be brief. What was it? I've been competing in the Project Blowed, Keep the Feel, Abstract Rudes 16-bar rap competition since 2015. In the past, I've gotten to the semifinals once. Usually I just get to round 2 out of 4. There's 4 rounds. I usually get to round 2 and lose. One time I got to round 3 and lost, which is the semifinals. This last week, I got to the finals and won the whole thing.
Hey!
It was a major deal for me. Now I've won one of every kind of contest I've done. I've won freestyle tournaments, I've won performance battles, I've won team battles. Now I've won the 16-bar rap competition as well. I won the Thought Fest, not to be confused with the Thought, but THOP.
Yeah.
60 East is Thought Fest, the
Happiness in Pursuit.
Festival.
Yeah,
that's the last contest I did, and I won that as well for a slot. So very happy, very grateful for all the support. A lot of friends came out to support me, and that absolutely helped. With the judges, the crowd support, all that stuff too. I could talk about that forever, but I won't. The other thing I wanted to pivot to from that is that my good friends, the Brewhouse Brew, were at the show, and I've been going to. They've been at basically most of my shows lately. I've been at most of their shows lately, and me and the homie Tawny One Love, TAWNYONELOVE. He's a photographer. He's been at most of the shows too. So it's kind of like the Brewhouse Brew. Me and Tawny are like the Brewhouse Brew road crew because we've been at all their shows, and I'm writing a long profile piece about the Brewhouse Brew, and Tawny's been taking dope ass pictures of them. So we're gonna team up, probably to put it in. We'll probably put it in Untapped Hip Hop magazine. You know, at the next seasonal issue, we'll probably put it in there unless we find a more appropriate home for it. But for now, that's where I'm thinking we're gonna do that. The Brewhouse Brew is Kiddo, Zay, and Sister Irie.
All three of them are awesome.
They're freaking dope. Kiddo and Zay were in East of the River together, and Sister Irie was in Hermanos Irie, and they're also all done solo shit, and they're all really dope. They're sick MCs, they're sick vocalists. They have really cool, in my opinion, a blend of witchy, hippie, hip hop, kind of like countercultural, mystical music, and it really captivates me. They only have one single and video out right now, but they're working on other stuff. I've been privy to getting to hear some unreleased, getting to see them do their live show.
Jealous.
It's been a blast partying with these girls are party animals, and and they're fierce, but they're so kind. I could go on. We're definitely going to talk more about it. When I have the piece done. They've been on like a mini tour lately. Like they've done like 20
I've been
shows
noticing
in the last 2.5 weeks. And I've been at most of them. I've actually been at most of their shows for the last like month and a half or two. But they've just been killing it, and they're. Yeah, and they're great friends, and so I wanted to give a shout out to the Brewhouse Brew for both, tolerating my presence at their shows and for supporting me at the contest last week, and to the homie Tawny, who not only has been capturing them for the article we're doing, but Tawny has been capturing sick ass photos of me at my last few shows as well. He caught me in Fullerton, and he caught me at the competition this last Wednesday. So big shout out to the Brewhouse Brew crew, the Brewhouse crew, the Brewhouse Brew road crew.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Congratulations on all of the above. That sounds like really exciting, especially the competition that you won. You out here like an all-star track and field rapper. Like, that's fucking dope, bro. And yeah, word up to the Brewhouse Brew. They're super dope. I've been a big fan of Kiddo and Zay for bordering on 5 years now, maybe 6. Like, it's been a while since I've been hip to their stuff. So word to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll do this briefly and without spoilers, but I believe you and I both saw Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Or The Batman.
Yeah. I saw that opening night.
Cool. Let me get a couple of your non-spoiler thoughts. I'll give you some of mine.
I think it's the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight. I don't know if it's as good a film as like a film in general as The Dark Knight, but I think it's the best Batman movie. Like, the most comic accurate, the most like character accurate portrayal of Batman so far. I'm not sure I feel as strongly about the Bruce Wayne, but I'm really excited for like a sequel, because I think that the Batman we're seeing is like so young that he hasn't developed that Bruce Wayne playboy character yet. And that's why there's not as like strong a dichotomy between the two performances. And I think in the next film, you'll see more of him realizing that he needs to play up that difference. And I'm excited for that. So I thought it was a great film. The cinematography is gorgeous. Robert Pattinson, holy crap. I would never have expected him to be that badass as the character, but he killed it.
Yeah. Dude, I love what you just said about he hasn't developed Bruce Wayne yet. Like, that's such a smart insight, and I think that's so true. And again, he's just kind of moping around like he's Batman. Like, how do you not know this is the guy?
Yeah.
He's just walking around being exactly the same. You're a good cop. What was it? Yeah. So that's a really good point, and I agree. It will be exciting to see him develop the Batman persona in the coming sequel. And then my brief thoughts are this: like, the movie played it safe but delivered really well. And when I say played it safe, I mean it didn't deviate, in my opinion, it didn't really deviate very far from the Christopher Nolan formula of like, let's do a pretty realistic, gritty Gotham and do it like a smart movie. But there are differences. Like, it's not as intellectual. Like, the Christopher Nolan stuff is always like really intellectual, kind of complicated Inception-ass plots and plot devices, whereas this one was a little more visceral, and I appreciated that. This one had more of the 90s grunge soundtrack. Like, I recognize the differences, but to me it was still like a dark, realistic Batman movie as opposed to trying something totally different.
I think like Batman as a detective character is like, so-called the world's greatest detective. I think this is the first Batman film that we've gotten where it's like a full-on noir film. and I think that really plays into that detective character that he portrays. And I feel you on playing it safe, but I wouldn't consider this very similar in tone or presentation to the Nolan films at all. Particularly in terms of the cinematography and the dialogue, I think it's very, very different. But on like a plot, like an overall plot structure, I could kind of see it being like somewhat similar to Batman Begins.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess I think it was like if the Christopher Nolan ones were about the Master Ninja Batman who studied with the League of Shadows, then this one's about Batman the Detective for sure.
Yeah.
And I get that. And I think the themes of hope that this movie has also remind me of Nolan. Like where it comes to at the end and what it's saying about like the idea of hope and what he means as a hero to the city and stuff like that. To me, it's not the same words as the famous, not the hero the city needs, but the hero the city deserves, and all that. I've got a similar vibe in a good way because I was expecting to be depressed by the movie, but I was not depressed by the movie because it kind of still like had those notes of hope that the Christopher Nolan stuff did. So
I feel that.
But you're not the only homie to push back on me saying that. Like Archer, I was talking with Cam Archer about it. He was saying he doesn't feel like it was very safe or very similar to the Nolan stuff. I guess I just mean like it's a compliment to both, to the Nolan and to this, to say that they adhered pretty accurately to the character. As opposed to like Tim Burton, who's like, let me make it zany, or the
Zack
Joe
Snyder,
Schumacher, which makes it even zanier, or the Zack Snyder who was like, let's go a weird
full
combination.
murder.
Comic accurate / grimdark, and I mean it's like this. None of them have moved past Frank Miller. Like everyone's still mining Frank Miller Batman comics for these movies, and that's cool. And that's
I think
cool,
there's good reason for that though. Like
yes, Miller. I have Miller tattoos. Like I have Miller Daredevil tattoos.
Oh,
right?
you way nerdy. I feel it.
Yeah, and I love Miller. I love that stuff. But it's like even as someone who loves Miller, part of me is ready for them to see a different flavor from Batman. But I will accept even just incorporating Robin because we haven't gotten a good Batman and Robin live action movie. And that's actually still feels dark and dope because they're so afraid to after the 1997 disaster movie. But I really think that would be an awesome. That would make me like, okay, they tried something new and delivered and da. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for is like a sick Batman and Robin movie, regardless of who the villain is next time.
I feel that, and I would love to see them do that with the Robert Pattinson Batman. And I think one of the interesting things is I feel like the version of Batman he's portraying in the film is like an early 20s Batman, almost like very young Batman. But the actor himself is, I want to say, in his early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
So I feel like if with the sequel, they could potentially do like a very substantial time gap into the sequel. And if he is then portraying a Batman that's more in his 30s and more like set up, I think he's 35. I think being 35, he'd have more room to have like a Robin character next to him because he's a little more mature, a little more set up. Because if he had a Robin in this film that just came out, I mean that boy dead.
Right. Yeah, because he's playing like a 32-year-old, like ish, probably in that one, and so like he could be like 40-ish in the next one with a Robin.
I feel like he came off like he was like in his early 20s in this film.
Definitely the Nirvana vibe, I
yeah, like
that.
there's a lot of like teen angst, like it feels like a very young adult. But in any case, definitely would agree that adding Robin would be a fun thing to include.
Yeah, and so my last things I'll say about that, I thought it was very good. I thought it was, as a Batman fan, I loved it. I think that it unnecessary. It's cool that they gave us 3 hours, right? Because they could have made it a 2-hour movie, and it's so adherent to the Batman legend that a 2-hour movie would have made it a popcorn movie that everybody could get into, But it's because it's 3 hours, it's kind of for Batman fans. It's like you're only gonna want to sit through that 3 hours if you like that shit. But that's a lot of people now, so yeah.
I feel that. I think it earned the length. Like there's only like one plot line, and this is a no spoiler discussion. There's only like one plot line in the entire film that I feel like could have been like seamlessly trimmed out on both ends and not impacted the film so much. But that would have kind of torn away one of my favorite castings of the movie and one of my favorite, like some of my favorite scenes in the film. So honestly, I kind of like the long run,
and it's not boring. There's tons of action throughout. It's like interspersed with action appropriately.
Oh yeah, it's nothing like the Snyder cut where it's got an extra like 90 minutes just off
Nordic
of slow-mo
singers
shots.
You know,
Yeah.
Nordic singers in the pool. All right, so let's move on from our first segment and let's go into our first video for today. That will be Psycho Sloth, the Brain Scratch.
Sloth down.
Soft as fuck, but I'm not okay. Bitch, I'm a tank, but I'm not propane. Smoking on gas and it's not your strain. You should be lucky that it's not your brain. Fuck my skin, fuck this game. Fuck white people, yeah, I'm full of self-hate. Feed me misery, feed me pain. Ain't no points in goddamn sea. Mushroom, what is my day? That just depends on how much you ate. At this point, think it totals 2 A's. Like, holy shit, boy, you're blasting away. Fractals out of my face. All things made from the same old shapes. All energy come from the same place. All thoughts taken in with the same grain. Salt rock, get your own taste. Hi, I'm a cloud trapped in a dreamscape. Infinite sky, you can never escape. Eat other words, but I crawl off your plate. I'm burning. There's way too many people at the gate. Regurgitate fury. There's one thing left that I just must say. Stand the fuck up. Hey, turn the fuck up.
So Psycho Sloth is from Pomona, right?
Yeah, he's a Pomona native.
Hell yeah! And I have thoughts on that, but let me hear some of your thoughts on this video.
The break that we just took actually makes us using this video kind of funny because he just like a week ago dropped a new music video for his song Acidity. So
Yeah.
like we wound up using kind of like an older video instead of the brand new one.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I would say Acidity has the better visuals on an overall, but I think Brain Scratch is the better song on the overall because Acidity is just kind of straightforward. But Brain Scratch, I really like, and I love the fact that he has like a burning American flag in the video. That's a very ballsy move to make as a artist of any kind. I always dig Sloth. Sloth is one of those artists that can pretty much do no wrong in my book. I really love his delivery. I love his lyricism. His beat selection is usually solid. Like it tends to be kind of like tight beat trap stuff for the most part, but it's on the good end of tight beat trap stuff. So I can't complain too seriously. Yeah, it's a good video. I was excited to cover this one because I wanted to give a shout out to that Pain Dimension EP that he dropped last year that's off of, and that Acidity is off of as well. I think it's a cool EP.
And this video is by Konami, right?
Yeah, I believe it's a Konami video, so we're getting
Konami
some
moment.
Konami representation tonight. I love it.
Yeah. I think I love how weird Sloth is. I love that he's always trying to incorporate countercultural messages and pro LGBTQ messages. And I did think the burning the American flag and some of the other cool imagery. It's like, damn, you would only get this like in a Dead Prez video or like a metal song, like he really has a cool different aesthetic. Really good guy, really interesting and bold artist who's always trying to do new shit. Like his stuff could be he has so much attitude, but he's also really earnest. And I think that's so cool. I appreciate the video even more watching it right now. I like the Pain Dimension EP as well, and I look forward to his next record as well. And yeah, as far as his beats and stuff, yeah, like that's how sometimes I feel about the new crop of cats, where it's like, they're doing something different than what I would do, but it's bold and it's tight, or it's speaking to their interests and their audience, and that one I like. I like that piano beat. I like that cool piano riff and the craziness of it. It has tension, and he uses that. So he was smart, I think, to see the tension there could be used for cinematic effect, and I think him and Konami and the crew that made that video and song did that really well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I even love the like almost intentionally goofy green screen shots that are like towards the last third of the video where they're like stomping on cop cars and like breathing fire while eating cop cars. I like all of that. I think it's well done and the beat fits it.
Psycho Sloth is PsychoSloth. People can check out Psycho Sloth. And what was it? And the producers want me to note that it looks like he really ate those worms in that video.
Oh, he did actually eat the worm. Yeah, he was complaining about how bad it tasted.
Oh my god. Okay, so go watch Psycho Sloth's videos, Acidity and Brain Scratch. Support this man. He's eating worms for y'all's entertainment, as well as writing innovative raps. We'll go to our next segment. We got we're talking about Young Miss and Still.
Woo!
Yeah, for real. I bumped it again on the way here today, and yeah, for
the
real.
fun fact on screen is great. Thank you. Good job, D. Will.
Untapped. So you'll see right below me, Young Mrs. and Still. As I was listening to this today, I was like, she's like a Lauryn Hill level talent.
I was thinking the Lauryn Hill comparison when I was listening to it as well. I also
Yeah.
got like a little bit of like Nelly Furtado, like early
yeah.
Nelly Furtado influence on some of the way she writes her hooks and stuff. Her vocals are fantastic on this whole thing, and like it's cool to hear like someone who can rap and sing both very like well.
A note, real quick, just for fans out there, Young Miss is YUNG space MISS, so you can check her work out. And Still is the album we're talking about. It's an EP. It's like 8 songs. It's like 20 minutes. But it's like there's moments where it's some Lauryn Hill type shit where she's singing on some soulful ass beats. I guess it was Mr. Ivory, Mr. Ivory Snow from Connecticut.
It's like the second to last one, right?
Yeah. What was it? It's Mr. Ivory Snow from Connecticut. Is the guy, who produced the beats, and what is it? It's neo soul shit, it's R&B shit. So it's like she's singing, it's smooth, but then she's also rapping dope. And then there's a couple songs in the middle that actually kind of just have a more of a hard rap feel too, because she's a sick ass MC. I actually first heard of her probably around 2015 or 2016. Abstract Rude posted about he went to Fresh Produce, which is a beat showcase they do in Riverside, and Young Miss had performed on it. He was like, I saw this talent, Young Miss, and she was amazing. And so I was like, oh, Abstract Rude noticing IE artist, she must be dope. And then she's indeed dope. I've made a song with her since. I've had her booked on shows that I've done since. Like I'm always pursuing ways to involve her and include her because she's a badass.
Yeah,
And,
she's awesome. And on that note, can we please work on a song together? You're amazing. I love this project. Like I've listened to it like 4 or 5 times all the way through, and every time I enjoy. Every time I have new favorite tracks, every time I enjoy different bars and different hooks differently. Like it's just well put together. You're crazy talented.
I mean, No Compass, the opener is sick. Her the one of the what was the other one? Second Chances. That one like really touches me. It's all really good. Also, her Social Distance 1 and 2 albums are good. All her albums are really good. And what was it? So you check out Young Miss. She makes beats. This one is not produced by her. It's by Mr. Ivory Snow, but she produces beats too that are very good, and she does beat battles and contests and beat sets and stuff, as well as her own rapping and
she's
singing.
a triple threat. I didn't even know she made beats too. Like
the song that I have with her,
work?
she produced it, did the hook, and did a verse for me on the song that I have coming out with her. I'm actually going to come out this year.
Hey,
And,
I need
that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. So big shout out to Young Miss. Please check out her record and Still. It's ampersand Still. And on Spotify, Apple, and everything else. Young Miss, YUNG space MISS. And then let's hit our next video, and that is the Brainorchestra, right?
Yeah, Big Brain.
And what's this song called? With that, I just remember it has the owl, and it was.
I sent this like a few weeks ago, so
We'll see it right
I
now.
was prepping for the other video, so I honestly like off the top of my head can't remember what this video was called, but I love the song and I love the video.
It is a dope ass song and video. Let's check it out.
That's what they wanted. You say this sad. Judgment aside, I'm the toughest alive. Put a nail out any coffin, put a death on my prize. They spread lies, so if you heard, believe it and go. For sure, buddy, most never seen the seeds for the growth. What you really did, woke up and hate on the kid for staying this. Cause most stay adjacent with it. I ain't staying shut, playing close places with it. Fuck you talking about, you got a little shake in the gym. See my glove way greater, and leave 10 acres of space craters. I'm not your damn neighbor, just passing through. Made bucks on the avenue, pride laughing. Thinking, yo, imagine bars as a better passion. Look at me now, pen lavish with the sway accent. You fake jacking for plays, we not the same captain. Not the same ship, sailing, you a lame. My stain leaves spots on the steel and tame rain. You dudes too comfortable and playing like white tees. My mic skill mixed with the MP is striking. You need to tread lightly, I'll pick apart your attitude. You ever try to fight me? Well, I heard bad news.
It's called The Judgment.
Yeah, I looked it up while it was playing.
Yeah, we both did.
I'm embarrassed that I had forgotten that, but this was a few weeks ago I sent that. We were prepping for that other video, so I had just found out we were covering this today.
But one that you turned me on to, I've heard him. The homie Regano has talked about Brainorchestra in the past, so people have been recommending to me repeatedly to him. So recommending him to me repeatedly. So I actually need to go check out his whole albums because that song's fantastic. His rapping's dope, but just that video, man, that video is so ill with the owl at the end. It's like he's there all like. It's like it gets real close and you see him just like talking with the owl. So Brainorchestra, one word, spelled correctly, Brainorchestra, Brainorchestra, The Judgment. Go on.
Yeah, he's awesome. I've been following his stuff for I want to say 2 or 3 years now. Me and the homie Smith the Poet came up on some of his stuff when we were just doing a dive on some artists out there in that like New York, New Jersey scene, like underground scene out there. There's a lot of dope artists out there, but his new album, Big Brain, is great. I really like it. And I actually was the homie Janu Solo. He does these interviews with different producers and rappers called Solo Sessions on Instagram. And he did an episode with Brainorchestra. And apparently, not only is that owl real, but the reason it has one eye that's like entirely black is because it is blind in that eye, and it's like a rescue owl that's like the mascot for like a animal foundation. And that whole video, like all the proceeds went to like helping save animals and like take care of like rescue animals. So it was a beautiful thing. Like apparently like one of his buddies like works there and helps helps these animals, and he just asked him like, dude, could I put this owl in a video? This owl is dope. And yeah, he was able to do it. And that owl is just like chilling there the whole time, just looking like he's like, this is cool. It's a day out in the park, man.
It makes him look like it makes Brainorchestra look like a dope ass supervillain,
bro.
You know?
No, like,
like,
entirely.
And now my hip hop plan will be deployed upon the peoples of the earth. No, great find, man. I love your taste. I love that you always show me shit from all over, because you know I focus on the IE a lot, but I know there's a lot of dope shit out there. So you said he's from New York, New Jersey?
I believe he's from New Jersey. He's just part of like a scene that's like underground cats between New York and New Jersey that all kind of like collab together. His stuff is dope. I've listened to a lot of it. He makes all of his own beats as well. Like he's crazy talented producer, crazy talented rapper. I believe he just like did a tour in Europe recently. Like he's pretty popping. Like he's doing well. Like he's someone who like people look at his Bandcamp stats and wonder what the hell am I doing wrong? Because he sells like a couple racks worth of albums every month. Like he's crazy popping on Bandcamp.
All right, well, Brainorchestra, check him out on Bandcamp, check him out on YouTube. I suspect he's on other stuff as well. Brainorchestra, one word. Dope ass video, the Judgement featuring the owl. What was it? And then the next. Okay, so then we're talking about the album "Dope Game Stupid" from Bruiser Wolf, right?
Yeah, Bruiser Brigade.
Okay. This album was crazy, but you start on this one.
So I'm a big fan of Bruiser Brigade. It's Danny Brown's collective that he's like kind of like operating, and Bruiser Wolf and Zaloopers are both two of like the bigger artists within Bruiser Brigade. Zaloopers is someone I've fucked with for a few years now. He did an album cover for me and Smith the Poet when we put out Thoughtsmith, and he also did the album art for Dope Game Stupid. He has a very like noticeable style with his paintings. I really love how Bruiser Wolf almost comes off like the spiritual continuation of the sugar free legacy. Like he really feels like a sugar free type MC, like especially the way he delivers his rhymes. It feels so loose. It feels so intentionally comical. I think this project is genius. It's not perfect by any means. Like some of the production is a little sloppy. It's in a couple ways a little one note because it's like 16 tracks of pretty much the same delivery and same style and same kind of lyrics.
Yep.
But I really do love his concepts. Like, bitch, I'm dope. And they just want to use me. Like that's a vibe. And then the I'm an Instrument, that one's great. There's a lot of great tracks, and I mean no other rapper has a bar as funny as I gave her the Johnson 2 times like baby powder. Like that bar is amazing. That bar is amazing.
I like that because I'm doing well like Shamu, you know.
Yeah, like me and Marcus were just laughing at that one earlier because there's like 3 levels to that because you know free will, so I'm doing will like Shamu. And then I'm doing whale like Shamu, and I'm doing well like Shamu. Talking about the current one, it's a good one.
When I walk out of the studio today, it's gonna hit me the comedian that his voice sounds like, because there's a voice that he sounds like specifically. But I think that you're really smart to bring up Sugar Free, who also is like kind of a conversational pimp rapper. Who can kind of all of a sudden talk really fast. The biggest lines come up this way. It's conversational, but it's still rapping, it's still rhythmic, you know. And what is it, Mike? I mean, let me talk about what I like about it a lot. Like his style is super unique. His voice is really like entertaining, and his voice like is likable. Like it has a likable voice, and he's really great with humor. his beats are pretty well chosen, and because his delivery is kind of a sugar-free kind of thing, but still kind of its own conversational pace, it's original. You know, it's not like you don't hear this flow all the time on rap, and you could tell he's having fun, and fun is infectious. You know, so you hear a rapper
Yeah.
having fun on their shit, and it's like you're having fun too. And I think the production's great. I think the production's varied enough. Like I was thinking, I think the song "Dope Game Stupid," the title track, has a little bit more of like kind of a menacing feel, whereas some of the tracks leading up to that one are a little bit more lighthearted. You know, and so it's cool that he shows that his style works well over those different kinds of beats. Like, here's me over some lighthearted shit. Here's me over some darker shit. You know, and so like that's cool. I love the production. I think it all sounds really good. Even the lo-fi aspects of the production are really appealing to me because sometimes it does sound like a dude in his garage listening to a laid back beat, kind of just talking on it and shit. You know, but it's really good. Like it's well done. What was it? I guess you were saying that your critiques would have involved the production. You feel like it's not perfect at times, and you are like respected as an ear for that, you know. But my complaints are more about like the lyrical content. I get, especially at this age, I'm a little bored with like, you know, I hit your bitch on accident, or you know, I get head like shampoo, and you know, it's like, I mean, it's clever though. Like it is clever. Like that shampoo shamu couplet is dope, you know. But it's like, you know, I'm over the pimp stuff. I'm over the, you know, I'm banging chick stuff. But I also get, like with Sugar Free, sometimes the rapper's so good at it and they're so humorous that it's like, one, you don't really think they're talking about sex so much as they're just being clever. You know, and two, it's like they're charming you with their humor and their cleverness to the point where you get over it. You know, and I think that's just going to be an ongoing debate and discussion that you and I have about sexuality and rap, which I think is a worthwhile discussion to have. You know,
No, and I totally feel you. Like, I'll give him a bit of a pass on a lot of his more like sexual oriented bars, just because he's doing so much to make them funny.
Yeah.
And to like make them clever, because there's a lot of MCs where they're just saying like, oh, I had sex with your bitch, like, and it's that simple. That's literally all they're saying. And he's like, like, I hit your bitch, freak accident, like calling her a freak, saying it's a freak accident. Like he's doing more to make it comical, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the level of detail and effort he goes into making these like very somewhat typical concepts sound new and fresh. And once again, Johnson 2 times like baby powder. That's hilarious. That is, huh? The Russell Wilson bar. Yeah. Like there's lots of good ones on there. But yeah, like he definitely for the most part on this project is kind of one note topically. Like almost every song is, you know, pimping, slanging, and fucking and making money off music. It's pretty much just that for most of it. I will say the exception is the closing track, Mama Was a Dope Fiend. I think that one is emotionally heartbreaking. Because it gives this really dark layer of like what got him into the game of growing up with a like negligent parent who is too hooked on drugs to give their child attention, and how he feels like he missed out on a possible relationship with that person because they died, or from the sound of it, they died young. It's a rough, that song is a rough listen, and I feel like funny bars aside, like he's able to touch on a very serious topic with that last song, and I feel like that's something I can commend a lot.
What was it? The other thing I want to say about this piece is like it's again, I like that you show me stuff from all over the country and all over the world, because this gave me like a nice little like peek into like a Detroit scene, hip hop kind of thing, as opposed to the stuff I'm used to. And I think Detroit and I'm from San Bernardino, right? And so San Bernardino and Detroit are all, for many years in the 90s and early 2000s, were like neck and neck for like murder capital and poverty capital, like
so sad.
In the country. Yeah, it is sad. And but it's like there's always to me been a brotherhood and sisterhood between Detroit and San Bernardino because of that. And so I like when things are like it's different but it's the same, you know. And I get that from hearing about his milieu and the place that he's in Detroit, and getting that different snapshot of a different hip hop scene.
I apologize for laughing right there, because it was a terrible time to do so. Anytime I hear something being different but the same, I always think of that like awful James Franco scene in The Interview, is like, we different but same.
That sounds amusing. All right, we'll pivot to the next. Our next piece is Konami Homies. We picked 2 Konami videos, but what's the one we landed on?
It was the shit.
Victoire facile.
Well, let's get into it.
And I know.
Yeah, Infinite Wonderland.
Infinite Wonderland.
Always depend on the morning sun, whenever I rose. I hope you stay until the end of time. And if I go, pack your bag, we can leave by the morning sun. The morning sun propels as we flow, search the world until the end of time.
This fool Konami is a visionary, man. He's few people I think balance like being so fun with being so weird with being so good at it, with being like because he's a deep serious director artist, but he's also like really fun and positive and silly. I thought this was awesome, and but I'll let you talk about it for a sec too.
Oh yeah, I love the visuals on this song. His mastery of green screening and like creating these CGI backgrounds and all that has evolved crazy over the last couple years. It's been really cool to watch his evolution in that regard. I think the other song that we were talking about, which I'm trying to blank on the name of, I think that one might be a song that I like a little bit more, but I think this one has the stronger visual. I love the like there's almost like a little bit like Cowboy Bebop to some of the visual in this, and like I mean this is what Netflix could have done, but no, we're not going to go. But I really I really love the visual. I dig the song a lot. I will say that for me the weak part of the song is the feature verse. Not a big fan of that feature verse at the tail end of the song.
That guy played bass on the song too, I think.
Yeah, and the bass on the song sounds great. It's just the verse that I'm not a big fan of, and it's mostly like the pocket he's trying to ride. He's kind of sloppy on it in a way that doesn't sound intentional, but sounds like he just didn't give it another run in the studio. And I just and personally, and this is like a me thing. I don't like when rappers do what he does, where he goes, and I'm all about the money, 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 money. Like he says it like 30 times. Yeah. I think that's corny, and I think it's like a symbol of like lazy, I don't know what to say writing. Just to kind of like rely that heavily on like kind of a flow, but you're really just repeating the same word. That bugs me. I can't pretend that doesn't bug me. But I remember overall, this song's great.
Yeah, it's a dope ass song. I love the singing. I love the chorus. I love the work that the guest guy does on bass. I think that's what it was. It was kind of like it's a mix of a jam between them, but also a video. I love that Konami gives it a story and makes it a whole like narrative, like he does with most of his videos. It feels like a little movie.
Yeah, absolutely,
incredible. And so what was? But yeah, I feel you. I feel you about the guest verse. But the guest is cool on the bass. The movie that the video is dope, and I actually like the song a lot too. The other one that we talked the other Konami one. There's another recent Konami one with like Mars Attacks kind of stuff happening in it.
Yeah, that one's really good. I love that song.
Yeah, so Konami Homi, Konami space HOMI. He runs.
Are you calling him Konami Homi?
Yeah.
It's Konami Homi.
Oh shit! This is almost as bad as when I misunderstood. This is almost as bad as when I misunderstood Makami.
Or Makomi.
I thought Donnie Blue made fun of me for calling him Mock Homie. Like, it's hip hop. I thought it was the homie Konami. I thought it was Konami Homie. Oh shit! I've been hanging out with Konami for a couple years. You never damn. That photographer I was talking about earlier, Tony. I thought he was Tony. Like I have a problem.
No, I get it. I just noticed it when you said it right there. I was like, wait, what?
What was it? And then, okay, so the last album we were going to talk about was, Stalin Bollywood.
Rhys Langston.
From Rhys Langston, we'll I'll be brief. I'll say like one thing, and you say like one thing, and then I want to hit a topic at the end with you too.
Okay.
And what was it? With Stalin Bollywood, I love. Well, I've checked all of Rhys Langston stuff out since I heard you recommending him. I haven't heard the latest one, but I heard everything up to Stalin Bollywood. I love that Rhys Langston is really literary, really culturally literate. He talks a lot about countercultural stuff and has like really cool meta commentary about wokeness and politics. And Stalin Bollywood is a wild cultural pastiche where he talks about it's like has punk rock in it and it has hip hop and indie hip hop in it. And he says wild offensive things about like the Pope and the Prophet Muhammad and white boys and political polemics and stuff. But it's a brilliant pastiche. I wouldn't do something like hose on my dick because I looked like a drawing of the Prophet Muhammad, but I can't deny how
that one.
that's probably one of my favorite ones on there. I wouldn't do something like that myself, but I can't deny that I enjoy that shit and that it's a cool cultural mix that he does on this wild ass album.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on all of that. I really love the way he writes. He's one of the densest, most complex pens I've ever seen. So much so that sometimes like it's hard to catch like the flow he's going for as a rapper.
Or the references until the second or third time you heard it.
Yeah, and like this album is definitely one where I feel like he's like stepping it up in terms of how dense he's going with it. Cause like when I go back to something like Language Arts Unit, the one that's to me his best record, that one, it is dense. And a lot of the songs are extremely dense, but it has songs like Governor's Water Bottles. And it has songs like, what's the other one? I'm drawing a blank on the name of the other track I'm thinking of, but the one with Chester Watson on it. And I Could Rap Forever. There's a few tracks on that where it's like it's way more straightforward in terms of like the structure of the song. It's way more of like here's a rap song, and I feel like with something like Stalin Bollywood, he's really deviating from that classic structure on a lot of these tracks, and I really love that. And also like Dirty White Boys is fucking hilarious. I love that song. He's just brilliant. Like I bow down to the temple of Rhys Langston. I am a appreciator of Langstonia. He's great. He's just fantastic. This project is produced well. The rapping is great. And yeah, he's heady with it. Like it's really hard to catch what he means with some of these bars on the first or second listen. And I won't ask like I won't pretend that I understand everything that he's saying. But what I do catch, I do appreciate.
So that's Rhys Langston, RHYS space LANGSTON, RHYS, Rhys Langston. He has a bunch of albums. And the link will be in the bio. The links for all this will be in the bio, in the info for this video. And where's Rhys Langston from? He's from the West Coast?
Yeah, he's from, to the best of my knowledge, he's from Los Angeles. And funny story, just a little tangent on that. Sorry. I actually found out about him because his mom and my mom are work associates. Like they've interacted in work settings. And apparently they were like talking at an event somewhere, and his mom mentioned to my mom, like, oh, like my son makes music. And my mom was like, oh, my son makes music. And so one day my mom came over, we got food or something. She's like, you ever heard of Rhys Langston? Like, yeah. And so like my mom is the one that put me onto Rhys Langston, which is hilarious.
That's right.
Yeah.
And did you say that you had art made from the same people that did the art for Bruiser Wolf?
Yeah, and actually, so Zaloopers is the one that did the art for Dope Game Stupid, and he did the artwork for Thoughtsmith by me and Smith the Poet.
That's tight, dude.
And then, funny enough, Rhys Langston actually did the artwork for Hey Think Fast, because Rhys Langston, not to be slept on, great painter, great multimedia artist.
So you know him?
Oh yeah, no, I've met him personally. I went to an event of his, but like,
that's awesome.
I chat with him here and there. Like he's super sharp guy, super cool guy. I fucks with him.
That's cool, man. I'm connected with all these IE people, and you are somewhat as well. And then you know all these other international people you're showing me. That's crazy. What was it? Damn, we have 1 minute. I wanted to get this in the beginning. I can't believe I forgot this. That dude, it cracks me up. The response to this show has been a lot of what I thought it would be. Of people like, yo, you're so nice, and the thought is so harsh, but I like it. You know, like people like it though. It's exactly what I hoped. I thought like people would think that you're harsh, but they like it. They fuck with it. You know, like people, and especially people have been reading my articles for years, right? So then to hear me juxtaposed against someone with a totally different angle, but they, let me, if I may say so myself, but also educated and informed, and someone who listens and gives a shit. You know, like it's really awesome to hear that. And so even to the point where people are like, "Hey, like, do you know if the Thoughts heard my music?" And like, do you know what he thinks of my shit? You know, like people now they want the Thought stamp because it's like, oh,
Hey.
if the Thought thinks it's good, then it must be really good.
Hey, tell him to send it to me. I'm always trying to listen to more music, man. Like I fuck with it. And like when it comes to, you know, I understand that sometimes my opinions can come across as harsh. I think today's episode is kind of an exception to that because I like almost everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I also like my philosophy is that I think being as brutally honest as I feel is trying to not do them a disservice of like sugarcoating what I have to say or like fudging my opinions for politics. I think it's better for all of us to be as blunt as possible about how we feel about music, how we feel about each other's music, how we feel about music in general. I think shying away from that damages our ability to actually hold things up to a certain standard. And I think standards are important.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. I do think that you help people like step their shit up and I mean, shit, we could talk about our different philosophies on it forever, but I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you. I love the response that we've been getting from it.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been just controversial, just spicy enough, you know. And I have a couple friends that definitely want me to send you their shit, and I'm gonna tell them like, you know, I'll send the Thought your shit, but get ready, you might get your heart broken, but he'll check it out. What was it? Call to action from Untapped and Productive Culture. You know, comment if you want to get your stuff reviewed by us. Send us stuff if you want to get your stuff reviewed by us. Hit up me. Hit up the Thought. Hit up Untapped.
Absolutely.
Hit up Productive Culture. You know, as you can tell, we can only cover so much stuff on the show, but we do our best. You know, we try to check out a lot of shit. We also tweet a lot and do social media posts about our shit too. So, yeah, get at us. Get at us. Tapped in with Tanjint featuring the Thought.
Thank you so much for having me as always. Like it's such a pleasure to do this show with you. And yeah, please send anything that you want us to listen to, even if it's not your music, if it's just an album you like and you're curious to hear what we have to say. Like I'll listen to anything, and if I like it, I'll listen to it 100 times. I'm a head ass with this music stuff, and I love it. And on that note, like even if we don't cover it here, I'm going to be launching a YouTube channel soon where I'm talking about like best albums of the year and doing like some album reviews and stuff like that. And so there's stuff that we haven't covered that's definitely going to wind up on my top albums of the year. Is going to wind up on my top EPs of the year. So, you know, you never know where you might get a shout out if you send something and we fuck with it. So
Send
some stuff.
Check out the links in the info. If you're watching this, you can check out the links in the YouTube info for this video. I am Tanjint the Wiggy Woo.
I'm the Thought.
Jack, aka the Thought, and shout out to Untapped Hip Hop and Productive Culture.
Woo!
Peace out.